Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where it was pointed out in the Discord. I'm sorry, I can't actually say who it was because streamer mode is awkward in Discord. Sorry about that, but thank you to whoever it was. It was pointed out that it may well be that the swarming bug occurred when we switched to autonomous ship intellects. That is a possibility. I don't know that for a fact, but it's definitely something we can try. I'm noticing all of these are back on Swarm. I changed them to Picket and saved it, but apparently it didn't save. We're going to go back to Advanced Neural at this moment, and we'll give this a try. We'll see if that saves properly. Are we now able to upgrade these? Well, these are currently upgrading, so we don't know for a fact. We've got this fleet that's going to be heading back. That's still grayed out on upgrade fleet. So I'm going to make a save right here. And that's this save. I'm actually not going to overwrite this save. I'm just going to do _2. There we go. We'll make a save there, and we are going to reload the save that we literally just made. And we're going to see if we still have our ships in not autonomous swarm. Because I'm currently thinking that maybe that's not saving. And if that's the case, that's interesting. So if we hop into our ship designer now, yeah, look at that. It's back to autonomous. So it's not saving the design. I wonder if this is because of our ongoing upgrades. We'll let our upgrades finish, and then we'll try. So, sorry, United Ubzant League. You guys are going to be on your own for a little while. We've got some things to figure out. So we need to sell some food here. We need to sell some... Oh, we're full on trade. We should probably then buy in something. But what? Minerals. Okay. Now I'm going to sell energy credits down to about here. And that should be fine. Now, what we can do is we can just proceed on fast speed, and we'll see what happens when all of these ship upgrades finish. Now, these stingers are slow, but they should be done at about the same time this force makes its way back. And our missing force should return eventually. Although, actually, that should be pretty soon. The main question is, where are they going to be? 134 days? Okay. So that's noted. We are currently running away from this, but not because we're scared of the Ubzant League, but instead because we've got some problems going on. So the fact that we're not able to change this, apparently, we're not able to save this change, makes me think that it might actually be the autonomous implants. We are going to be losing out on 15% evasion chance and 5% ship fire rate if this is indeed the problem. But I think it's worth it because the backbone of our fleet will start actually doing things again, if that's the case. I did notice that they were working and then they stopped at a certain point. I should point out, there has been a new patch to the game that came out literally today. This is 4.1.5, and it fixed a lot of bugs, apparently. So maybe our swarming bug is fixed? We should maybe test that before we pull these guys back. So how can we test that? Well, we can go in and attack Amory here quick. I don't want to fight a large fleet if the swarming bug is not fixed. Let's turn these guys back around before they get too far. Let's go attack Amory. The 19th Corolla is going to need to retreat, for sure. We know that for a fact, no matter whether the bug is fixed or not. If the bug is fixed, great, but this is a thing that I've noticed for quite some time in Stellaris. And now that I think about it, it does seem like it happens in the late game more than it happens in the early game, which may indicate autonomous ship intellects being to blame. So that's definitely an interesting call out, for sure. We'll do some testing, and we'll find out. So the 19th Corolla is going to be arriving back in 30 days, and we'll see where it's going to show up. I'm guessing it's going to show up somewhere over here, but I don't know that for a fact. And Franza Blue can grab the Scout trait at this moment. Okay, so they've got a fleet down over here. That's okay. I just want to hit Amory for the moment, and we'll try to determine if this is indeed going to be an issue here or not. It's going to be a little hard to tell, I think, with there just being the single station. So I think what we should do is we should proceed as if the bug is fixed with this latest patch until we have evidence that it isn't, now that I think about it. So we'll attack into Amory, and these guys, they're in the Kerbal system. This is a terrible place for them to be. They have no way out of here. They have to jump drive. How did they even get here? Okay, so they have to jump drive out. They're going to jump drive to Ollie. There's no way around it. They have to jump drive. I don't even know how they got here, but it's going to take them a long time to make their way back anyway, so this shouldn't be a big deal. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we take this out with our perdition beam. The storm actually goes away.
The void is not ours alone.
Okay, so this swarming behavior looks correct-ish. Although it's swarming here rather than swarming here, maybe it's still bugged. These guys have made their way back, and they need to go all the way to Plant Heart at this moment. So we need to check in on this, and we need to... The problem is, I don't want to queue up reinforcements for this fleet, at least not Mauler reinforcements, before we know what we actually need to do in terms of our Maulers. So I'm only going to queue up Weaver reinforcements and Stinger reinforcements. We'll need to add in a Juvenile Stinger. And we'll get rid of these 2 mature Stingers, this Elder Stinger, and we'll get those in there. The Titan is here. So we'll just queue up this, and we'll not get the Elder Maulers, or rather, we'll not get the Maulers done yet. Those will build fast anyway, so we'll get that going on the way over. Oh wait, this is going to queue up Elder Maulers. We need to not be queuing Elder Maulers here. So we need to cancel all of these Elder Maulers that are in the queue. So that means that we need to go to the top of where the Elder Maulers are and just spam click here. Because we want to build these as juveniles, but we don't know yet whether we need to change their design or not. So I'm going to cancel all of those, and we're going to be working on these instead. Okay. So that's fine. They're on their way back. They're going to get repairs. In fact, they could probably get repairs at an allied station like this one. But I want them to go back anyway, I think. So what I want to do now is I don't like this pathing. We're FTL inhibited by the planet, and we're going to have to take it. So we're going to head down to Rurius, and the real question is this fleet going to be giving us indications of having the swarming bug? If we still have it, then we will attempt to backtrack on our swarmers down to the next level. But we lose a lot of stats by doing that. Like, a lot of stats. And we'd really rather not do that. But if it's bugged, and there's not much we can do about it. So that's understood, and this fleet's going to take a while to get back home. That's not surprising. That seems fine for the moment. So our ship upgrades are going to be finished soon enough. If we check up over here in Ustir, this is done. So I'm going to get that moving at least to Plant Heart for now. These over here are... This fleet is also done. Let's get that moving to Plant Heart. And then our Flourishing Corolla is still upgraded. So that seems fine for right now. So we're going to attack Rurius, and let's see if we see any swarming behavior issues here, although this is not a scenario where I would expect to see any. So this doesn't really tell us what... Okay, yep, right there. We can see the swarming is happening at the wrong position. So we clearly need to change something about that. Roger that. Time to head home. So we're heading to Plant Heart. These guys are going back to Ustir, and these guys, they're going back to Ostici. We're going to need to change around our fleets here, but I'm going to wait until these are completed. This one stinger is a long ways away yet. That's going to take some time. Everything else here is done, and that is noted. Okay, so we need to get our forces back home, and we need to do that basically right now. We don't really have a choice. Our performance is going to be so low without our swarmers acting correctly that we basically fundamentally have half-sized fleets at this moment. So we got to get out of here, and that's exactly what we're doing. We'll be arriving back in Plantheart in about 300 days. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that all of these constructions are complete. So we can actually cancel some of these harbingers. They're going to be pretty slow. I'm going to cancel all of these harbingers here. The stingers I'm going to leave because they're actually not too bad. I'm going to let them finish up. We'll cancel the harbingers. I want to have nothing in our ship construction queues when we make this change, just to make sure that it's absolutely clean. So that means that this upgrade needs to be, if we can select the other fleet here, this upgrade needs to be finished, and we need to have our stinger constructions completed as well. So we're making our way back, and that'll be fine. How long do we have on our jump drive cooldown here? Okay, so the sublight speed minus 50% makes this bit of transit here very slow, but that's about to expire. So that looks good. 3. Okay, we made our way to Gamma Refuge there, but sure. And the jump drive is now online again. We need to sell some food, and so we shall. And I do want to get some of these terraformations going where we can. So that's currently terraforming. Out over this direction, there's actually nothing to be done. Do we not have other terraformations to do? These are orbital habitats. Here, here, here. This is an orbital habitat as well. That's an orbital habitat. I think we actually have them all. Wild. Oh, wait. Here's a couple that we can do. Okay, perfect. So we'll get that done. We'll colonize here. Perfect. Completely missed these. Okay, now I think that's all of them other than the orbital habitats. So that'll be fine. We cannot do anything with the orbital habitats. So we need to have this upgrade finish up, and that's at 89% right now. So I also want to check in here. Yeah, these stingers, I'm going to cancel this stinger. The other stingers will be complete soon. So we'll give it 40 days. That seems fine. It will take us some amount of time for these guys to make their way back to Plantheart, after all. They're about 200 days away, so that seems okay. And out this direction, we're at 98%. So 93 here, 94. That will be done in the eventual times. Okay. These stingers will be done in 15 days, and then our queue will be complete other than that one upgrade. We'll just be waiting on the upgrade, and then we'll try to swap our ships over to... Well, we need to actually think about it. Do we want to try picket ships? We'll at least still have... It would be a small upgrade to tracking. That doesn't really matter, though. This is medium range. We really want these guys to be in very, very close, right? They have to be in close to use the crystalline mandibles. So we have to be on swarm. So we're going to be trying to go off of autonomous swarm because I think that's where the bug is. But it is very sad for us to do that because we give up a lot of stats. Okay, so this upgrade is going to be done very shortly. It's at 99% right now. We also need an admiral here, and we'll put this guy in. Seems fine.
Vessels strengthened.
Okay, so there is our queue completely empty at this moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into our ship designer, and I'm going to back off here to the advanced neural implants. This does lose us 5% fire rate and 15% evasion rate. I hate to do this, but if it makes these ships actually function, then that's great. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to save this design. We save and overwrite. Now we're able to upgrade. So it actually saved. Okay. I think it was because of the upgrades. So now we need to go through and upgrade all of these. These upgrades should happen quickly. So we're going to get these going. And I'm also going to hit this reinforce fleet button. And this fleet here will be returning to Plant Heart. But I do expect these upgrades to be quite swift, at least in comparison. So we can see we're 10% done over here already. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a lot faster. So we will see if this retrofit fixes the bug. If it doesn't, then we'll probably have to try to find some additional solutions. But that's my theory right now. My theory is that it is, in fact, the autonomous ship intellects. It does seem to fit timeline-wise with my observations. So we shall see. So all of these over at Plant Heart Station are happening, and that's understood. These upgrades are not really a thing right now, so that's fine. We'll have these finishing up soon enough. And we'll get all of our fleets together, and then we're going to come down here and start actually attacking these guys. That's the idea right now. Now, there is this out over here. I don't think we'll work on that for right now. So we want these guys to go back to Plant Heart and get upgraded. That'll be okay. And it's cheap and it's fast. But we do need to get through our construction queue over here first, right? We just finished up in Ustir, so we're going to move back to Plant Heart. That'll be fine. And then these guys over here, they finished up here as well. So we're going to move them to Plant Heart. And then we've got one additional unit over here. It's already 10% done. So that looks good. And these guys, they're probably not really started yet. Yeah. The reason for this, of course, is because we're currently maxing all of this out with all of these constructions. And we may want to actually halt these, which is going to be very tedious because we have to scroll down every single time unless we want to lose our progress on these up here, which I don't want to do. So that's a little awkward. We might be better off going into it here. This is definitely the better place to do this. So we'll do that. These are at Jana. That's okay. These are at Plant Heart. So let's get rid of these for the moment. Okay, that'll do for now. We've got this progress being made. It will take a while to get through Plant Heart Station, but we should now be starting to see some upgrade progress here, I think, or very close to it. Very close to it. We're about to start it once we get these maulers done. Okay, so that'll be fine. The real question, of course, is how long will it take to get through all of this, right? Well, it shouldn't be too long in theory. What is this? Oh, this is over in Kantharan. I don't care. That's fine. So we're going to be done over here in just a moment. We're at 67% completion. Looks good. And these upgrades are going to be slow, for sure. But this isn't a surprise. So there we go. We see that these upgrades are now actually beginning. Perfect. This is still going to be a little bit slow, but eventually we'll get these done. Yeah, we're working on 2 at a time right now. Okay. And then we can hit this button again, and that'll be putting it in at the end of the queue, theoretically. Which this fleet here should have...
Vessels adapted.
It arrived after. I think. No, none of this actually got queued up in Plant Heart. Okay, perfect. That's ideal. So these guys are basically ready to go. And we will just continue working through those upgrades for now. That's going to take a little while. These guys out over here, they're done. We're going to move them over to Plant Heart, and we're going to get all of our forces grouped together. That'll be absolutely fine. So they're all on their way. And then we're going to head down and start actually attacking these guys soon enough. So that's understood. Very awkward timing for us. But, I mean, we already knew that, so it's okay. It is okay. We do want to start working on our planets, of course. So we've got this Hunter World, nothing to do here. Here we can certainly work on some upgrades, which we are delighted to do. I'm noting that we are over our naval cap right now, so that's noted. Okay, a little bit more work over this direction is fine, and we'll just continue to get these done. Excellent. And there's, of course, more work to be done over here. We will run out of resources to do this now, and that's not surprising. First contact event pending.
A new voice calls out in the darkness.
Sure. So that all seems absolutely fine. Out over this direction, we can check in on our upgrades. We're at 14%, and we are at... Oh, that's this fleet. This fleet is done with its upgrades. Okay, perfect. We're still waiting on reinforcements to flow in for them, which is not surprising. This fleet is the final fleet to be upgraded, and that's looking good. We still have these harbingers being built, and those are about 6 months away from finishing. So we will see how long it takes to get all of these upgrades done. They're pretty quick, and it should be relatively okay. Theoretically, anyway. Okay, so down over here, we want to keep working on getting these worlds upgraded. That is of utmost importance. This think stem here, we can definitely put in some research growths, but we're limited right now by our biomass more than anything, so that is absolutely fine. We can bank up our biomass, it's not a big deal. This fleet will be arriving in 45 days. So that looks good. And I'm thinking about potentially an additional amount of naval cap here. We can have up to 13 Titans. So we could theoretically get extremely strong militarily if we wanted to. But we don't really have a reason to, I don't think. So we're still waiting on these upgrades. We're at 60%. I want to check in on these harbingers. Once these finish, these upgrades are going to go a lot faster. But also, we want the harbingers done, ideally, before we head out, right? So that would be ideal. The 19th Corolla is at 50, is 50 away from its cap. And these others, yeah, this guy just doesn't have much skill. That's why this is so much lower. Understood. That's a leadership issue. So we could definitely get some more upgrades going on our worlds. We are delighted to do so. There we go. So we'll just get that all queued up, and at this moment, we're just waiting on this to finish up before we head out and start properly attacking down over here, which is the plan. We will start properly attacking down over here. So we're at 87, and that's proceeding nicely. We're now at 90. So yeah, we can see about 70 days here. It's probably going to be similar timing. So we'll just let these harbingers finish up, and then we'll probably start heading out at that point. Yeah, this is about to finish up. 4 days here, but we can just wait another 50 days, have the harbingers, and head out.
Vessels strengthened.
And I think that's exactly what we're going to do here. So it's only a couple of days. That'll buy some time for additional fleet power to make its way in here, which will be absolutely perfect. So on Shutra here, there's not anything to be done. On this Crucible world, there absolutely is things that we can do. So we'll get going on that. That seems great.
Horizons
We are full on our
widen.
trade. And what do we want to buy? We're not actually short on anything right now, I feel like. We can just store it in dark matter for now. I guess that's okay. Cool. So that all looks good for the moment. We should be ready to head out here in just a couple of days here. Yep, about 15. And everything's looking good there. This is also buying some time for our ships to mature. So that's also a useful thing. Keep in mind, a lot of these that we're building, well, all of them, actually, that we're building are juveniles. So that's understood. Fleet command limit plus 40 is interesting, for sure. We're pretty above our naval capacity right now, though. So for the moment, that may not be that big of a deal for us. Yeah, let's just grab colonial bureaucracy for now. That'll be fine. So 3, 2, 1, and 0. We are now ready to send these guys out. They have almost their entire fleet here, and it's just maulers at this point that they need. So let's head out, and hopefully that will fix that swarming bug. We'll keep an eye on that, but it is time to put a cut in here. So next episode, we'll make our way down, and we will find out if that does indeed fix the bug. Fingers crossed. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. Also, a change of plans. They just popped through up here in Kimithar. We gotta go deal with that. So we're going to make our way up over here instead, and that's where we're going to go. But as I was saying, and everyone else, I don't know if I got through all of the outro here. I'll just do this again. ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.